I'm a capitalist, man. Go earn.
The capitalism argument. I had to lie. I was making money. When money is your highest value in life, it will cause you to do all sorts of terrible things. So this defense of like, listen, I'm just trying to make money here. No, we get that you're trying to make money. The difference is you're doing it in an immoral way, right?
Go make money, man. If somebody's gonna pay you to do something that's cool or fun, or that
maybe not. Maybe, what if it's moral? That's more important, I think. What if it's moral? Not cool or fun or listen, these guys invited me out to a conference and they were going to pay my way and pay me food and we were going to go do all this fun stuff. Like, yeah, I should totally do that. That sounds like fun.
That you enjoy, go do it. I am all about growing a business.
Yeah, somebody in comments said this, basically, Jeremiah Greshamson, capitalism, in this sense, how he's using it here, basically means making money is a God-given right, and I can't be held to account for it. Yes. What was I supposed to do? Not take his money and lie to you? Actually, yes.
The companies that we've been dealing with all these years, they'll say, like, the only thing we ask is if there is a problem, let us know and give us an opportunity to fix it before you burn the house down.
That is something that I think viewers, often they won't hear this other places. That's something I forgot to mention like 15 minutes ago. There is an unwritten law among our world. If the gun doesn't run, send it back or talk to them before going public. And I think
no, because we're serious and we're honest about problems. How about we take that unwritten rule, because it's not written down anywhere, and we just forget it? Maybe? That sounds like a better option to me. What if we were honest instead?
Like 15 minutes ago, there is an unwritten law among our world. If the gun doesn't run, send it back or talk to them before going public. And I think that's a level of and I get it. These are PR majors. These are marketing.
Yeah, it's not a real standard. It's not something the end user should be forced to go through. Because again, you should treat yourself like the end user. And especially now that I'm not working with any manufacturers for any reason. Yeah, absolutely not. Now, there are instances where you can review someone's QC process, right? Or their warranty process. For instance, I broke a Athlon 1-10 by 28, their Helos BTR Gen 2. I broke one. I did the review on it. It said, hey, it broke during the drop test. I sent it in for warranty. They honored the warranty. Excellent. Nice. I reviewed it again and it broke again, right? So their warranty process was perfectly fine. Too bad the optic is a little bit more fragile than, every other LPVO on the market, right? So you can totally talk about some places RMA, you can talk about their QC, do all that sort of stuff. But again, the main key here is to actually just be honest. And there is no unwritten rule. You got to send it back before you even mention that there's problem. Because he said, before you go public, you got to send it back. It's not a real standard. It's not something that reviewers should be held to. Guess what? Whose fault is it if the end user got a bad product? It's not the customer's fault. It's not the reviewer's fault. It's the company's fault, which ends up, I don't care who machined it. I don't care who QC'd it. That looks bad on the company and the people running it.
Guys, let us work on it. And I think for me as a reviewer, that needs to be part of the actual review. Hey, I got one, it broke and I sent it back. I had a CMMG that the extractor popped the day I got the gun. And so I just turned it around and made it and I'm sponsored by CMMG, so is this knucklehead. And I just turned it into part of the narrative, and I did a review on their customer service.
That is perfectly fine. You can absolutely do that. If that's how you want to make your review video and you just want to tell the whole story, perfectly fine. If you also want to make a video after unboxing your $2,000 rifle and the extractor fails on the first mag, guess what? You can make that video too, because they're both honest. Now, the troubling thing here is, let's say the CMMG, or let's say a different product. We don't need to talk about these guys. If I receive a product from, let's say, I don't want to say a company that I've worked with, let's say Knights Armament. I've never worked with Knights Armament. And then I have a problem immediately. and I don't mention it for 6 months till the video is done, the problem is in that 6 months, a lot of people may have bought that product without realizing there was an issue. So I actually think there is a large benefit in going public quickly, because that has the potential to save somebody else from having the same issue that you did. I'm not saying that you are forced to do that, but I think there is a tangible benefit from pointing out issues right away so that the public is aware and also that the company is aware so that they can hopefully fix it. The problem is usually when companies have an issue, usually they just ignore it. They move on and they just send you a replacement and never go back and do the work to walk through their processes to see what they can fix to make sure that this sort of thing doesn't happen again.
I think that's a big one. Is there, to your point, there is this unwritten law. If it breaks, you don't go public to the camera, you go straight back to the marketing department.
Yeah, again, we've kind of discussed this. That censoring, says Coffeeholic. Yeah,
we do need to be hard on guns. Absolutely. They don't need to be babied. It's a tool. But do y'all think that some guys push them too hard just to try to make them pop?
Again, I think the only people that legitimately are blowing stuff up on purpose is like burn down channels, right? And that's entertainment. So it's like 99.5% entertainment with like a little bit of information in there. Because I know that some people have done it on like more standard style firearms, and they have a big chart of exactly how far each manufacturer and each type of upper ran. Like somebody did one on a cAPiTaL 816, and I think it made it like 600 rounds or something. Whereas the like a really cheap AR made it like 20 rounds more or something. That was like 1/3 the cost. So it's like mildly interesting data. Mildly interesting data.
That was maybe just an oversight, but I don't think guys are always as honest as they need to be.
Again, he just keeps playing both sides here, right? He's like this, people who call us shills really shouldn't be doing that. It doesn't really happen. And then at the same time, he caveats to the other side, flips to the other side basically immediately. And it's like, yeah, it is happening, but maybe it's just not that big of a deal.
Today's episode is brought to you by TriStar.
Oh, I love that. Oh, I love that cut. Right to sponsors. That's amazing. That's amazing. All right. That's very important. We got to listen to this. I remember this section now. So Hootie Hoo says Grantham getting that 50K per video sponsor. Yeah. Now, again, sponsorships, I think, can be moral. Perfectly moral, right? The company Y says, hey, I think your group might be interested in product B, and we'll pay you X amount to promote that product in a 30-second ad roll, right? Perfectly fine. One, the company has to be a good company. The product has to be a good product. Once you've vetted the company and the product, I think it's perfectly moral to take a sponsorship. Now, some channels don't do that in terms of they don't take sponsorships. I don't think... or some channels don't take sponsorships at all, which is also, again, perfectly fine. If you don't want to expose your audience to any sponsors whatsoever, just let the content be and then figure out how you make money some other way, which is how a lot of us do it. Yeah, but again, I don't think sponsorships on their own are immoral, but let's listen to what Jared has to say here for just a second.
Be part of it where people... before I was approached by Leviathan to actually be part of the tribe, I hate that name, by the way.
Part of the tribe. I know.
Leviathan tribe is a little bit on the nose.
I was like,
I'm going to be the tribe, and we're going to make money through honesty, and we're going to just gather together through a squid tribe, the Leviathan squid. I hate it. I hate that name.
I remember before I was approached, I was envious.
Jared was envious, right? So now he's going to claim that the rest of us are as well. And that is usually referred to as projection. Now, and this is also kind of loser mentality, let's say, where it's like, oh, somebody else got something nice. Now I'm mad, right? Which there are some people that are like that. And that is, again, big loser energy right there.
What were you envious of?
How do I get somebody to do that for me? And like, obviously they have connections that I can't do on my own.
Again, it's just like, oh, I can't do that. It's too hard for me. How do I get that? That must be nice. Must be nice for them to get free stuff.
And
so if you're approaching it from how can I get this product kind of mentality, and not from like how much value can I add, how honest can I be, how can I help people make good buying decisions. It's literally just how do I acquire a product for personal gain. It's big loser energy.
They helped elevate my business. They did. I'll give them all credit for that. They've done a lot to help my channel get to where it is as far as operating as its own. I no longer have to work 100 hours a week at another job to fund the channel. So they've helped me out tremendously. They've helped a lot of all of the creators that are at a better place financially because they have Leviathan. Can they take everybody in under their wing? No. And I think sometimes maybe a few people might have a little envious or jealousy, or why can't I do that, or why am I not good enough? Because I felt that, and like, why?
Right. So again, he's saying I felt that, and then he's putting that on people that are like calling out paid shills, right? So he's saying, well, I was like that, so certainly everybody else who's complaining at me, they must be like that as well. Which is not necessarily the case, right? That's a you thing, homie. Don't put that on you.
It's almost like it's only in our industry are you made to feel guilty for making money. And I have people all the time, Johnny, oh, you're just shilling this product and you're just this. I'm like, you go to work.
Bruh.
Nobody says that to a lawyer. Oh, you're doing that for money.
Lawyers are a really terrible example. Geez, pull up a worse example of humanity than a lawyer as your defense. Jeez.
Funny, and I think that's another interesting thing. That woman that I was married to, she used to say that we'd have these conversations.
I'm not gonna bring up what he just said.
And she would say, I think it's really weird in the gun industry that people.
GB Gun says, perhaps another factor is that many gun tubers don't know much about what they're doing with firearms, so reviews, both positive and negative, can be inaccurate. I mean, that is there is a level of truth to that as well, but what I'm mostly getting at here with this is that he keeps saying that the gun industry is the only industry that gets called out for taking money and lying about it. And it's just absolutely not true. I mean, the standards are like literally this tall, and people are struggling to get over it, right? All you have to say is, hey, I got paid for this, or hey, I got this for free, right? But the video's over, right? And that standard is apparently too high. Too high. All right.
People get upset if you make money in the gun industry. Does it come back to jealousy? They get really upset if you get a free gun.
We should probably let that run out, because that is a great statement. And remember what we just
we'd have these conversations, and she would say, I think it's really weird in the gun industry that people get upset if you make money in the gun industry. Does it come back to jealousy? They get really upset if you get a free gun.
I think that's, I do. Honestly, I do think that's a big part of it. A few people.
Again, that's the end of the video. That's the last thing that I had. But is jealousy a big part of it? I do want to talk about that argument for just a second. The answer is no. The answer is jealousy is not the main factor with people calling you out. It's just not true. There are a small subset of people who are angry at you when you get paid or when you get a free gun. Like, so for instance, I've gotten free guns and free product before, and you will get like 1-2 comments like, damn, I wish I got a free product. And, sometimes that's people just being, like legitimately saying like, wow, it would be kind of nice to have something like that. And then there are even a smaller subsect of those people that are like, damn, I wish that was me, or why that should have been me, that sort of thing, where they're really envious of you as the individual. So again, I think that is an incredibly small subsect of the population, and that is a obfuscation of the truth being that people are just mad that you're lying to them and not fully disclosing either your relationships, either the way that you received the product, or the money that you're being paid for it. I think those are the biggest issues.